This is a CC Radio podcast.
Welcome to episode 235 of the Countdown Podcast. I'm slightly less nasal than last week, and my name is Wayne.
My name is Paul. Welcome to the podcast. We count down movies and sometimes television in order of awesomeness, so you don't have to. And today is a very special episode. If you are a teenager and your parents you listen to this episode, welcome.
Yeah.
If you're new to the show because, hey, the boys aren't being crass and rude and using bad words, welcome as well. Because today is the top 10 PG-13 films, and for charity, we are not swearing today.
Yes, we're trying to make the episode itself PG-13.
That is correct.
Which is, I don't think that's going to go well.
We say try because here's the deal. What's going to happen is every time one of us uses a word that is not acceptable in a PG-13 film, and
That's
now
right.
let's establish what is acceptable.
Okay, we will.
Shit.
Shit is okay.
It's okay, you can say that in a PG-13 film.
Piss is fine.
Piss is fine.
Yes.
Now,
Ass is also fine.
Ass is fine. Bitch, I believe, is fine.
Bitch is okay. Now, how do you feel about dick?
I think that everyone needs a bit of dick on occasion.
I mean, who doesn't? Right. So, I think dick is okay.
Yeah.
Now,
there we go. So anything above that, the F word, the C word.
Okay, this is the official
the
MPAA.
MF word.
Yes.
All right, okay, you've done some research.
This is it, okay? This is their classification and ratings guidelines. It says, a motion picture's single use of one of the harshly sexually derived words, meaning the F word, though only as an expletive, initially requires at least one PG-13 rating. More than one such expletive requires an R rating.
Correct.
So it says here, however, though, it's a little bit muddy. It says then, it adds that if 2/3 of the rating board, who are all parents, by the way, this is true.
Really?
This is true,
okay,
yeah.
Okay, yeah.
If 2/3 or more believe that the multiple F words are used in a legitimate context or manner or are inconspicuous, then the movie can still get a...
All right, well, let me put this to bed right now. When you swear, it's not inconspicuous in any way, shape, or form.
That's right, because apparently the one big thing is the cuss word you say, the F word, if you're saying that as an expletive, that's fine once. If it even once is referring to an actual sexual act, as in I effed her.
Yeah, or go F yourself.
I think that's expletive.
No, I think that's
okay,
sexual
see,
act.
there you go. All right, it's up and down, right? So if that is if you do that even once referring to an actual sexual act, it has to be an R.
So here's the deal: we have allowed ourselves one swear word each.
Non-sexually related
Non-sexual.
F word. This is not going to go well. You know what?
And when we get it wrong,
yes,
the requirement is to take this glass that we have next to
a
jar, and have a dollar coin here in Australia. So in Australia we have coins.
Americans,
not
we don't
bills.
have single bills. We
That's
only
right.
have dollars.
And it will
coins.
sound something like this.
Perfect.
There it is.
No, that's not a sound drop. That is actually a jar that we have in front of ourselves.
Yeah, we got the same thing on either side of the table here, and we're going to amass whatever we have at the end. And on the basis of the Facebook listening community link in the show notes, we're going to ask for the charity of choice.
Yeah,
so we're going to donate this too. So that's the fun of the episode. So it's very different.
In a way, the more I curse, the more I help the planet.
Or the
which
charity
I've
of
never
choice.
been able to. Well, it's a charity. It's a planet. I've
The
never been
idea,
able
though,
to.
is you try not to.
No, I'm trying not to. All
Right.
right. So,
Because so far we are like 3 minutes in and no one swore.
No one said
which is
anything
a
so far.
first
This is an
for this
amazing,
show.
amazing,
An
right?
absolute first for this show. All right, well, let's get into the business at hand then with the first segment to open the show that you now return to calling The Recount.
Who wants a recount? Who wants a recount? Who wants a recount? Who wants a recount?
The recount is... Are we doing this again? That's kind of cool. All right. The recount's where we're talking about stuff that happened last week.
It is indeed where we clean up a bit of admin and news and the like. And the first bit of news is, of course... no, it's not, of course. I was on a couple of podcasts this week.
Yes, you were.
The first of which is the So I Married a Movie Geek podcast.
Mm-hmm.
I was on the episode where we had the best films of 2001. I was up against Hannah from the Boozy Movies podcast.
Boozy Movies got it.
Tony from the Take Two podcast.
Take Two.
And Dan for the Dan and Cody podcast. And we all went to get a fantasy movie draft. Check it out. The good news is, spoilers, if you don't want to know the result of the show, stop now. Fast forward 15 seconds, 30 seconds. I won.
Well done, old man.
I fucking won.
Well,
won one of these. First time I've ever.
There's your first cast. That's right. Your first. You won. That's the one. That's the one. I thought it was going to be me. There's a shock. All right, nice.
That's it. I've used my card. Cannot believe I'm the first one.
I'm really happy about it.
Honestly, did not.
Fantastic.
I don't know why I'm so embarrassed.
It's good. It's good because you thought it was going to be me.
I totally.
So did I, Cracker.
Maybe 9 or 10 in a row before I blemished the
I'm surprised
scoreboard.
I've gone this long.
Okay, well, anyway,
right.
so I won. I'm amazed. Thank you to Justin for allowing me to be back on. I'm progressing to semi-finals in early next year.
Nice.
So, hurrah.
Semi-finals?
Yes.
Oh, you got like a league? Ladder?
The top 8 from the first, then the semi-finals, playoff, whatever works out. Anyway, then if I win that one, I get
This
to the
would
grand final.
so do like for your personality. No wonder you're in this thing. That's your jam. Paul's a ladder climber, people. He's like March Madness on it. Yeah, anyway.
Well, oddly enough, I think it is in March, the semi-final.
Nice one.
So anyway, very much looking forward to that. So thank you to the competitors. Thank you to everyone who voted for me. Thank you to the Harry Potter squad who got behind me. And a big up yours to Nick from the Epic Film Guys.
Paul always says up yours.
Who called me out and saying he was disgraced and upset by my list. And well, there you go, Nicholas. Speaking of Nick, I was also on, well, it was recorded a long time ago, but he released a couple of spotlights that we did for Shaun of the Dead and Train to Busan on their feed this week. So if you haven't had a chance to check it out, Nick and I are talking a lot of love for those two wonderful, wonderful films. Please do check out our good friends, the Epic Film Guys, out. And the last bit of news for the recount is the result of last week's show, where you have been smashing me.
Yeah, but not this week.
Couple of weeks, yeah. The two TV-themed podcasts, you absolutely creamed me in. We have that running gag where who can you make 10 votes? Well, you really got close this week.
Didn't I? I looked at it and said 8. I think I may have done it.
No, you fell over the line. You got 11 votes.
11!
To my 33 in the Facebook listening. And that was the vote for episode 234, which is who had the best list of movie characters you'd most like to drink with. Mm-hmm. A lot of people got behind my choice of Ash. So Adam Malure had a picture of Ash there. Mark Bryant said, Paul's list kills it. Even the Vote for Wayne crew know this, which prompted Caleb from the Netflix and Swill podcast to say, yes, I do know.
Fair enough. Completely understand.
Matt Rochelle said, Paul, you had me at Quint. Jonathan Kidd said, Paul's Quint pick bit the effing legs off Wayne's entire list. This may only be funny for us, but it's very funny at this point. Richard Sen, though, was behind you, Wayne, so Paul lost me for not wanting a beer with his poster boy, John Wick. Wayne gets the nod this week. And then finally, Blake Jarvis said, all Wayne had to do was put Han Solo higher than Paul. At least he had it. Plus, Wayne's top 2 is a head-scratcher.
It is a head-scratcher. Emotional. That's me.
There we go. That is it for this week's recount. Let's get into it then on the other side of this music cue, the top 10 PG-13 films. The top 10 PG-13 film
Classic.
is what we are discussing this week. And we had a bit of a discussion beforehand. We don't normally do this. However, today, for the special occasion that is an episode which anyone can listen to, we decided...
That's not true. We're going to cuss.
Well,
There's just there'll be consequences.
I made my one mistake.
Okay, fine. Everyone can hear one cuss.
You have made no mistakes yet.
Yeah,
and
just hang
I don't
around
know.
10 seconds.
We should put something up in the Facebook listening community. How many minutes before Wayne cusses?
Absolutely.
And see whether people get it right before the episode gets dropped. Anyway, we decided that we weren't going to talk about the obvious applicants.
Because
Now,
here's the thing, people.
Yeah.
If you look at the top highest grossing movies of all time, 60% of them are PG-13 or below. So it could be any movie that we throw here. And we don't want to talk about the same stuff over and over because it's boring for you. So...
you might be new to the show, and so therefore know that The Dark Knight, Inception,
yeah,
would have definitely been on both of our
absolutely. There's a few...
Edge of Tomorrow,
absolutely would have been on there. Social Network for me.
Back to the Future we ruled out as well.
Totally.
So this is some big films, and some of it comes up in listener feedback at the end, and totally, you've nailed it. That's what should be on here. But because we talk about it so often,
Yeah, let's not get all boring about
we've
it.
decided, and not to say there's not films on the list I haven't spoken about, but I don't talk about them as often.
Exactly. So more like that. So we're just chopping out some of the obvious choices.
Yep.
Please don't get mad, but feel free to not vote for me again. I
Or
honestly...
us, no, because we both chopped them out.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
no one's at a disadvantage in this particular
Sure.
instance here. So it should be a lot of fun. Now, Wayne, you did some research on why PG-13 came in for the States.
So check it out. There was a movie, which is on my list,
I know what it is.
I know. Where the director, Steven Spielberg, basically had pushed the envelope, and turns out that
Because there's PG and
Yeah.
there's R in the States.
exactly. And so he had done this movie with I'll just say it. Sorry, there it is. Okay.
Wayne is out.
God damn, that was close. All right.
All right, everything from here on in is raising $1 for charity every single time.
Exactly. It was Temple of Doom.
Yep.
And he and George Lucas were in a funny place in their life where they had just both broken up from their relationships or been divorced, and they were very dark and they were very angry, he said. And then they made Temple of Doom. And at the end of it, they looked at it and said, ooh, we really weren't happy about that, sort of, because it's actually quite a tough movie. So they went and pushed it forward, and they said, and they had troubles getting it through. They finally did, but Steven Spielberg said to the
MPA?
said, look, you need something between PG and R, because it's just
too big a difference.
It's too big a thing, and you can call it PG-14 or PG-13 if you like. They ended up with PG-13, and Red Dawn was the first movie with an actual PG-13 rating.
Okay, I wasn't sure what the first one was.
Temple of Doom is still just PG.
Is it really?
Yeah, because they just snuck it through, but they said, listen, we don't want to do it.
Okay, it was the one that caused it. All right. I thought it was a PG-13, but it's not on my list.
Hopefully on my list.
Well, hang on. How can it be on your list then if it's not a PG-13 film?
PG-13 or lower. Surely. That's
No.
What?
It's a PG-13. Change your list.
Gosh.
We will now have pause to think music while Wayne changes his list.
Okay, we're good. All right. This is going to mess my whole action up. So...
All right, well, while Wayne makes his adjustments to his list, let me just add that it's not just me who's neutered by the not swearing. The soundboard is equally neutered, which I will cop because I'm the one pressing the button.
Yes, finally.
The fee for. So if I accidentally, in my consternation, press a button that includes a swear word, I must also pay out for that.
Okay.
Just to establish the parameters
completely
for
understandable.
Everyone listening at home. All right, Wayne, lead away then. Your number 10, PG-13 film of the adjusted list that we have made.
My number 10 film is Clueless.
Nice.
Yeah, I love Clueless.
Nice.
Okay. Clueless is a 1995 coming-of-age rom-com, and it's got, like, Alicia Silverstone, Paul Rudd, Turk, Tan Hedaya, Brittany Murphy, a lot of people like that in there. It is loosely based on Jane Austen's 1815 novel Emma, which is about a chick who does really nice things for people. And I actually think that this is one of the happiest films that I've ever seen.
Yeah, I'd say where you're coming from.
It's mid-90s, sure, everyone's wearing yellow, but it's okay because I think for me as well, didn't necessarily make me feel like a high schooler again, but made me want to be in that world. Cher is a high school Beverly Hills beauty, and I was just always a very big fan of hers. I will watch this movie anytime. So
That's some great moments, this film.
Yeah, right?
But the one that really stands out in my mind
Which
is
one?
when they're walking along with the very archaic mobile phones.
Mobile phones.
And she's walking down the corridor, and
Right.
is it Stacey Keach or
Stacey
whatever?
Dash, yeah.
Dash, that's what walks out right next to her, and they're both still talking on the mobile.
Yes.
And they go, oh, hey. And
That's
they
right,
put
and
their
they
mobiles away.
exactly, and I think you and I did that once
On a
back in
golf
the
course.
yes, back in the day, and we're like, hey, how you doing?
I got you and Shane to do it for a golf video.
That's right, I remember now. We used to shoot weird videos when we were kids, guys. Don't even worry about it.
Which is way worse than Wayne made it. Way better than Wayne just made it sound.
Yeah, film. It's part of us.
Yeah, it is, and that's why we do this podcast. All right, that's a nice number 10. I think my number 10 is very similar ilk, but a different genre. It is a feel-good film, despite the fact it is basically a monster film. It's almost an adventure film. It's called Tremors, directed by Ron Underwood.
I wondered which one you're going to go with. This is Kevin Bacon, yes?
Kevin Bacon and Fred Ward, and it basically follows a small town in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
And whatever happens, I think it's mining works, awaken these huge worms that live under the ground. And they burst up through and eat people from below. And it's quite clever because, therefore, Ron Underwood directs this so there's no gore whatsoever. People generally, for the first half of the film, just disappear.
Really?
And there's a hole in the ground. Whoa, where'd they go?
That's good.
Then, as the film goes on, a couple of people get eaten a little bit more graphically, but again, with very minimal bloodshed and characters who are kind of larger than life. From Michael Gross from Family Ties.
Yeah. Kevin Keaton, whatever.
Yeah, but that's his name, Michael Gross, isn't it?
Yeah,
it is. And so he's becomes the through line through these films because, of course, there's about 7 of these films now. And I think he's in most, if not all of them.
didn't know
his
that.
character, because he becomes the veteran who can take these grubs out. Well, I can't remember what they're called now off the top of my head, which is terrible of
The
me.
Tremors monsters, yeah.
Yes, those things. It's just a lot of fun. It's just this really rollicking adventure. And Kevin Bacon plays this guy who has this very set idea on a woman that he wants to have.
Yeah.
She will have long blonde hair and legs that go all the way. And Fred Ward's like, you need to adjust your expectations, man. It's never going to happen. And of course, he meets someone who looks nothing like his, and they fall in love through the course of the film.
Right.
It's wonderful. It's just a great film for you, teenagers at home, or even, I'd say even 11, 12-year-olds could get a lot out of this movie.
Really?
Yeah, people die, but not graphically.
That's good, because I've actually heard a lot about this movie.
You've never seen Tremors?
I've never seen it. It's because...
I would recommend.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, I'm coming off, I haven't watched the film this millennium.
Well, tell me, is there safe havens where you can stand where you don't get hit?
Well,
by
they all end up on the roof.
Okay, cool. Well, my number 9 may surprise...
Grabbers, that's what they call them, grabbers. Because they come
Grabbers.
through the floor and grab you and drag you down.
But it's a worm, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
they look like worms. That's the best way of describing it.
Nice. All right, cool. My number 9 is Gremlins.
Oh.
The 1984 Gremlins. What's that?
How
Is it the
dare you?
Mogwai?
How dare you?
Is that the Mogwai?
That wasn't me doing the music.
What the fuck is the... damn it.
Hey, the first edition. There we go. $1 in. You know what? It was so normal for you to say that.
Yeah.
I hadn't even clicked I should catch you out.
We just go so often.
Well, come on. Seriously?
Yeah.
I
ain't got nothing.
You talk about it, I'm going to find it on
Okay,
YouTube.
fine. This is Steven Spielberg joint here. Everyone, I'm sure everyone knows Gremlins is like.
Of course I do.
Okay, but the cool thing for me about it was the old dude goes into this weird shop of curiosities and he finds a damn mogwai, and then it turns out to be something you can't get wet or feed after midnight because it turns into lizards and stuff, even though they start out cute. Now, I don't care for monster movies or any of that thing,
No,
even
you do
back in
not.
the day. I really don't. But there's something about this film which made me think that, hey, maybe I could be one of those guys that likes monster movies. I know it's just 1984 and it's just a kid's movie, but I found it enthralling, and I really found the sequels enthralling too.
Oh, the sequels. You mean the sequel?
Yeah, that one. I like that. I almost like that one.
Go on,
better.
say it, Wayne. Say which one you prefer.
Okay.
How is that? How is that not your choice?
Because this one is the one that awakened me to it. That one was just enjoyable because it had Batman references and stuff in it.
I
And
smell pandering.
oh, you think that's what's going on here? What am I, you? No, I enjoy Gremlins. What can I say? It was a good ass. Ass is fine.
Ass is fine.
Ass is fine.
So far, this is going way better than I thought.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it was only $1 to charity.
Yep.
Actually, no, I feel bad. I'm going to cuss more so I can give it a
Sure, that's what you're going to do. Nice try.
Okay, that's it. Gremlins. By the way, go ahead and
here's music.
tell me your music. Oh, shit. Buck time. Okay, I see it now, but your version was still balls. Yeah, there's your dollar. All right.
All right, well, that's my first edition.
That's kind of loud.
Oh, dear me. All right. My number 9 then, moving... I can't believe we're already at number 9. My number 9 is a film which we love.
Yeah.
And I suspect it might be on your list as well.
Okay.
If you had have... Because what I did when I organised my list was I got the IMDb PG-13 films
Me too.
organised by number of votes.
Yep.
And I've scrolled through them to 1,500 before I went, that's enough, because now I read films which really annoy me.
Yeah.
I'm talking about Kinka Usher's 1999 masterpiece, underappreciated cult film, Mystery Men.
Oh, is that a PG-13?
Yeah.
Shit. Yeah, that thing is class fun.
The film is amazing. I understand people don't like it, and I don't understand why people don't like
No, I don't understand either.
it. But at one level, I understand it's different and it's not what you expect. And
It's the bowling ball. People don't like the bowling
with
ball.
the head.
With
skull
the
on
head,
it.
yeah, they don't like that part.
Mr. Furious, of course, Ben Stiller,
He's the best.
with the greatest superhero strength of all time. He just gets really angry.
That's why it's funny, because he just jumps on top of the limo, goes like, "Rah!" and it's just his face, and you're like, what the hell? And then Jeffrey Rush as well is the ball.
Jeffrey Rush is the big bad guy in Casanova or whatever his name is. And then William H. Macy as the shoveler, who's just the dude who can wield a shovel. Oh, it's hilarious. Who else do we got? We got Hank Azaria as the Blue Raja.
We can only throw forks instead of knives.
That's right.
Hilarious. Pure class. And then the invisible dude who can only be invisible when no one's looking.
No one's looking.
That's just class! These are all excellent jokes, which for some reason don't spring with some people.
And then Wes Studi is Sphinx, which I think might have been the only dude who had sort of pseudo powers from
Who
vague
is he?
memory.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Well, he's the guy who utters the immortal line. We are number one.
Oh yeah.
All others are number two or lower.
Yeah, this is a great movie. This has like always been a great movie. I suspect it might be a dude film, like Swingers. A lot of girls I don't like tell me they don't like Swingers.
Yeah.
This one as well. I don't know. Maybe it just speaks to our
I think that should be, by the way, our like catchphrase for this podcast.
what?
We are number one. All others are number two.
Someone won't get it and they'll think we're preening.
They will. They'll think we're this arrogant.
Who are these dicks?
Can I say ass? Assholes.
Yes, you can say all those things.
Good. Excellent. That's fine. It's a fantastically funny film. If you haven't seen it, do check it out. Gian Garofalo in it as well, and as well as Pee Wee Herman.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
He's the farter one, the one who farts.
Yes, Paul Rubens as Spleen. That's my 9.
Okay. My number 8 is an old favorite of mine. Stars Bill Murray, and it's called Groundhog Day.
Yes. Very nice. Very nice.
You know what I'm saying? I actually think that this is one of the strongest films in Bill Murray's filmography, and it does not look like it will work. A guy who spends what must be 10 years in a town living the same day over and over and over and over does sound like it might be crap. However, even with Andie MacDowell in it, pissing me off with her coquettish grin, right? I still adored this film, and Stephen Tobolowsky is in it, which makes everything better. So, I don't know.
Stephen Tobolowsky is great.
He's great, right? He's great in everything, and he's still kicking ass today, all right? So, but yeah, I don't know why it does, because that whole, it's Groundhog Day that opens every, like, you know,
Any
the
chance
radio.
you're just sublimating Edge of Tomorrow with Groundhog Day?
Oh, excellent point. You're right. But this was done in a way which made you want Bill Murray to win. Like,
You didn't want Tom Cruise to win in Edge of Tomorrow?
No, I did, but it's Edge of Tomorrow, man. It's people killing aliens. This is Groundhog Day. This is I'm oddly saying this. This is like real life. He's actually going through a normal life, learning things and saving kids falling out of trees and shit like that. So I mean, there's little to no sex, little to no drug use, and it's a comedy targeted at adults. Yet there's nothing vaguely offensive for kids. So there's your PG-13 right there. Someone everything digs.
Absolutely fits the bill. And yet there's still this romantic sort of / he wants to get in Andie MacDowell's pants undertone, which gives it the PG-13, not just PG edge.
And they do sleep
And
together
people die.
eventually. Yeah. Do they?
Well, he does.
Oh yeah, he
Time
does.
and again.
Sorry, you're right. He does. He gets to that. Yeah. See, PG-13 can be lots of things. Violence is fine sometimes.
Now, here's a good opportunity for me to spring this on you.
All right.
Not now, not today,
Yeah.
but obviously based on how this show goes.
Yeah.
After this, we got to do the PG top 10 films,
No.
and then the G-rated films,
we're not
and there'll be no swearing at all.
There's no way any of those things are going to happen.
Yes.
It's just, we can do a G-rated film, but I'm still going to cuss.
No, it'll be the same thing. Charity.
Yeah, charity.
Yeah,
right?
okay.
The world. I tell you, the world will benefit from my filth.
Okay. All right, so top 10 G-rated films coming your way soon. My number 8 is a film which is very close to my heart. Love it to pieces. It's often compared unfavorably to Goonies, and I think it's very, very unfairly maligned in that way. It's Fred Decker's 1987 masterpiece, The Monster Squad.
I wondered if you'd put this on here.
Yeah. Basically, Count Dracula gets together a whole bunch of bad monsters and takes on a small town, or a town where the kids band together against, with the help of Frankenstein's monster, who joins their side.
Tell me, am I thinking of the wrong one, or is Wayne from the Wonder Years in this?
Yeah, no,
movie?
he is.
He is, right? And they ended up doing like gun shit. Like they have weapons against the baddies,
there's
right?
guns. They call a tiny little girl a bitch, which is this really pushed the envelope for a PG-13 film.
Really?
Yep.
Yeah, I remember the show.
Wolfman has nards.
Ah, yes.
And then one of my greatest film lines in the history of the world.
Go on.
The greaser guy, Rudy, who's too cool for school, way too cool for them. He's a couple of years older and whatever, kind of falls into the group through the course of the film. He turns around to take on the vampire sort of women that Dracula has turned his, I can't remember what they're called, but vampirelings or whatever. And they're like, "What are you doing?" And he just walks with his crossbow towards him. He's, "I'm in the goddamn club, aren't I?" It's amazing. It's the best, like, hell yeah moment in film for me.
Okay. No, this is completely in keeping with your thing. So, okay. Monster Squad.
Can I read you the tagline here on Letterboxd?
Bring it.
You know who to call when you have ghosts. But who do you call when you have monsters?
Nice.
Nice.
Bunch of 12-year-olds.
And Rudy.
And Rudy.
Yeah.
Cool. My number 7, people, has just always been a flat-out favorite of mine. It's Zoolander.
Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah, Zoolander.
For the at home, I picked this in my 2001 squad of films, which won the 2001 Fantasy Movie Draft on the Sorry Man Movie Geek podcast.
Well, then this thing is winning for everyone. The Zoolander film is one of the more perfectly executed comedies I've seen, certainly for a PG-13 movie. Every single gag works in this movie. The House for Ants works.
That
The
is very
stupid
funny.
people with the damn, like, with the petrol stations is just hilarious, okay? Even the celebrities, martial arts, good. All those stupid little things, great. Will Ferrell, probably one of his best roles ever. And, you know, he's lose 10 kilos immediately.
Mila Jovovich.
Jovovich, yes. Mila Jovovich doing great. Billy Zane. I mean, this is where the guy's star was fading.
Right now, I'm going to give Wayne the look.
Oh, he just magnumed the
Blue
titties
steel
out me.
Jew.
Boom. Can I say titties?
Can you guys do this?
Tell you what, I'm going to give Charity $1 anyway. Just to see how that goes. All right?
It's like I did the same thing then because I did repeat your question.
If you want to get technical. Like I said, it's for the good, it's for the betterment of humanity. Nice. All right. So yes, I don't know. Does anyone not like Zoolander? Everyone hates the sequel. But does everyone, you know...
Let's not talk about the sequel.
Yeah. And also, by the way, the whole Owen Wilson being the spiritual surfer who likes Sting but never has listened to a Sting song. That's what he says. He's like, Sting's great. I mean, I've never listened to any of his music. Lose my faith in you. Sting's amazing, everyone. I don't care what he said. I know he's playing the lute a lot now and shit. I don't know. But, you know, he's still great. Yes. But Zoolander, I dare say everyone loves this one.
Yeah,
Come
not too many people disagree with you. Likewise, my 1996 comedy is also a PG-13, obviously, film. It's from Dennis Duggan, and it's one of the early Adam Sandler films, Happy Gilmore.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, not bad.
Happy Gilmore is right up there for me as one of the best comedies ever made. It's genuinely hilarious as far as I'm concerned.
And it was weirdly so, because there's this Adam Sandler slew of those films, Happy Gilmore and Billy Madison and stuff like that. Now, when we here's something for you viewers. Paul and I used to play golf, and Paul was exceptionally good at it.
No, Paul was marginally okay.
You had a handicap. The rest of us didn't even know what that meant. So, so when we used to, we had actually joked that anytime we brought someone new onto the course with us, they'd say, "Listen, I've never played before." And so, "Have you seen Tin Cup?" "Yes." "Have you seen Happy Gilmore?" "Yes."
You're a
done.
golfer.
You're good. You're good.
You're
Come
a
on
golfer.
in. Come on in. And God knows everyone has tried that run up to the tees and slap it.
Who
right?
hasn't?
Has anyone? Have you ever hit a ball?
Yeah.
Nice work.
I've hit it
Well?
where I want it to go, and I've also hit it straight, like swung and missed, and also on one Happy Gilmore occasion.
Yeah.
So for the non-golfers at home, they have little markers from where you tee off.
Yep.
Typically speaking, there's competition tees,
Yep.
there's male tees, and then there's female tees.
Yep. The red ones at the front.
Yeah, red in Australia is normally denominates the
The female
one.
tees. Yep.
I Happy Gilmore a red shot straight. I smashed it low to the ground.
Worm burner. Go on.
Obviously, not a good shot. Straight into the red marker, which went then over my head backwards by
Oh
about 100
no!
meters.
So you didn't clear the ladies' tees.
Not just didn't clear ladies' tees. I went 100 meters
Backwards.
I
Fantastic.
managed to hit it so square on whatever strange angle it was that it wound up on the green behind me.
That, everyone, is known in Australia as a jug.
That was a joke.
If you don't clear the tees, you got to buy
It
everyone
was
a jug of beer.
massive jug. Anyway, back to this film, which is legitimately hilarious. And hockey player who becomes a golfer because he can hit the ball so far, has no nuance nor control of his game, but
That's
can
right.
just smash it straight down the fairway and hit greens that are 350, 400 yards away. It's pretty impressive in terms of the golfing prowess, but it's more impressive in terms of the comedy. Carl Weathers as his coach.
Carl Weathers being classy. That's just class.
Hilarious. You got Bob Barker popping up.
Bob Barker is probably the
Price is-
centerpiece of this.
The price is
Wrong, bitch. If that isn't the funniest movie sort of scene in the movie, it's not. Forget about it. It's
His
definitely
happy
the case.
place with that, I can't remember her name, but a very attractive woman who's playing the love interest in the film.
Oh yeah, I remember
Julie
that.
Bowen.
Oh,
And then one of the greatest villain roles ever.
Shooter McGavin.
Shooter McGavin, played by Christopher McDonald, is fantastic as well. As
he's the bomb.
The stuck-up old school version of golf and doesn't want anything to change. It's just it's a wonderful movie.
Absolutely awesome. And let me tell you this. There's a scene early on in the movie where he's He's talking through his door intercom to someone who's out in the street who he assumes is his girlfriend he's trying to get back. He's saying sweet things to her. The doorbell rings, and it turns out it's an old Asian woman down there that he was talking to the whole time who gives him eyes. And it's like, the scene's supposed to be, he messed up. And the very next scene is she's like, fucked him. Oh, sorry. There you go.
That is $5 for charity we're now up to.
That is pathetic.
We're doing pretty well here.
No, I know, but it's pathetic. Like, I'm not offering anyone $5. We're going to
Well,
top it up.
look, $5 donation is better than nothing.
Yeah, okay, fair
If we
enough.
don't swear for the rest of the episode, which I would think it's highly unlikely, get your bets in now. Sportsbet.com.au.
Totally.
Sorry, that was a free plug. Sportsbet, give us money. That's my 7. Over to you for your 6.
Nice. My number 6 is Crazy Stupid Love.
Yeah, of course it is.
Of course it is, because I'm a bit of a bitch. All right? Crazy Stupid Love.
course you are.
Of course I am. It's got Emma Stone in it, Ryan Gosling, Steve Carell, and Julianne Moore in it. And it is about Ryan Gosling, who is quite the coxman. Can I say that? Yeah, let's just give him a buck.
That's
anyway.
another buck.
There you go, Charity.
And for those at home, Wayne just dropped a buck on the floor.
Yeah, we'll get that later. Okay. Yes, he is something of a Lothario and is particularly successful with women, being Ryan Gosling. And Steve
Can't
Carell-
imagine why.
Can't imagine why. Steve Carell is a divorcee who's having problems and does not like women. And of course, the young guy takes the old guy under his wing.
Does he not like women? Just does not like his ex.
Yeah, he's basically whining about his life, which is
Yes.
unattractive.
Yep.
Ryan Gosling takes him, gives him the proper makeover, but also teaches him a little bit about life and chicks and stuff. And it ends up being a particularly good story, not just because of that, which is a lot of fun, but because that movie does not give you moments you expect it to get. For example, at the end, when Steve Carell and Julianne Moore are having a moment, he does not kiss her. You just are left hanging. It looks like a good moment, that's all. Very cool, very well done, and I basically love
Sure.
Ryan Gosling. Now, there is one cuss word in this movie. The
Well,
one
as it's
F,
PG-13, you're allowed to
that's
give
right.
the
The
cuss
one
word.
F is when Ryan Gosling takes off his shirt and he's all Ryan Gosling and muscly and stuff, and she says F because she thinks he looks photoshopped.
As Emma Stone.
Emma Stone, yes.
Said that, yeah, okay.
But yeah, pure charm. Love this movie. Crazy Stupid Love. Crazy Stupid Good.
I'm sure you've made that joke before,
I
but
definitely
please
have.
don't let that
I
stop you at all.
definitely have.
Well, from one film a la that kind of ilk to sort of another drama,
Something like that.
a wonderfully directed film by Alfonso Gomez-Rejon. It's called Mitty and Earl and the Dying Girl.
Ah, now this is Rai Rai, yes? No, that's Lars and the Real Girl. Sorry.
No, definitely not Rai. This is Thomas Mann plays Greg, and look, it's Olivia Cook is Rachel, the girl who's dying of cancer, which is
Okay.
what this whole film's about. Where,
Right.
his mum, Connie Britton, plays
Oh, yeah.
his
Spin
mum,
City. Yep.
makes him make more of an effort to be friends with her after she's diagnosed with cancer.
Okay. And so
They're in
what's-
like year 12
Okay.
high school.
Yeah, okay.
And the film proceeds from there. Nick Offerman's the dad, by the way. And
Yeah.
it's just one of the most heartfelt,
Tell me about- yeah, 'cause-
engaging films, which I know I've talked about this on the show before, so I won't bang on about it, but I watched it on a plane in tears.
What, you made you cry?
Yeah, and look, there's well-known research to say that altitude brings on emotion.
Yeah.
So you're much more likely to feel
Totally.
something when you're up high in the air, for whatever strange reason, the air being thinner or whatever it is.
I call plane movies an emotional deprivation tank.
There you go.
That's what's going on.
Wait, deprivation or amplification?
You can only see what's on the screen. All your other emotions are like, you're up in the air, you don't care, the world's behind you, now it's all about the screen. So it's depriving you of your external emotions.
But it would amplify what's happening on the screen.
Perhaps you're right. It's the wrong term, but it's if you I think you'll agree it's catchy.
Hang on, I'm going to try and find something now
Emotional
to
deprivation
summarize.
chamber. Yeah, anyway, the point is, yes.
Eat my ass! Eat all the asses!
Which I should be very careful
That's
with the
legit,
soundboard.
right? That's legit. Okay, fine. All right. Okay, have that. Take that.
Yeah. A fantastic movie, which I won't spoil any more than that. If you haven't seen it yet, it's 4 years old now, 3-4 years old now. Absolutely, please do seek it out and enjoy Me and Earl and the Dying Girl.
Can I ask you if I would be happy with the ending? I mean, I'm pretty sure I know how it's going to end, but
I'm pretty sure I've mentioned how it
Oh,
ends
okay,
on the
fine.
shows,
Yeah,
which
yeah,
is
yeah,
where
yeah. Let's
your
just- okay,
subconscious
let's-
is talking.
yep.
You need to watch this movie.
okay.
You need to watch it to appreciate it. There's certain films which you should see. Because, by the way, the byplay is that him and Earl, his best mate, are making really dodgy versions of famous films on the sideline.
Oh!
Yeah.
Well, that's huge!
Yeah, so they have this like library of tapes they've made, which what's his name's dad is keeping,
Yeah.
and they're sort of referring back to like they're making their version of Apocalypse Now, and you get little snatches of how bad that looks and whatever else.
Oh, cool.
So it's really quirky.
All right.
It's a lot. I know you don't like quirky.
No, but I'll
It's a
see
lot of fun.
I'll see if I can steel myself as
Fun
a
with
emotional
this
bitch.
really strong emotional through line.
Okay, me and Earl and the Dying Girl. Nice. My number 5 is Sing Street.
Oh,
Right?
this movie's good.
Movie is pure delight, people. I once almost saw this movie in New York because I was like
Sing
walking
Street?
around. Yeah, because I was walking around with my then girlfriend, and like we didn't know what to do because it was just a day in New York, and then it's at the Majestic or something. There was like that was playing, and because the poster looked shit, we didn't go see it. But I wish we had, because that would have been the perfect day in New York.
Lucy, the woman in it, the young
Yes,
love
yes.
interest, Lucy Boynton, I think her name is.
Yes,
Is in Bohemian Rhapsody.
is she?
She's the woman that hooks up with and becomes Freddie Mercury's kind of life partner, but not because.
Oh, is that her?
Yeah, and actually, is Rami Malek's real life girlfriend.
Oh, well done on Rami.
She's
lovely,
stunningly attractive.
Yeah, very pretty girl.
Even dressed up like this as
The
a young,
80s? She
and
still
she's
is
young. She's like young, but she's not that young. She's
No.
playing much younger than she is.
She's a couple years older than him, which back then, when you're that age, is a lot.
Plus,
but
also, yeah, I think she's older than her age in the film. Like, I think she's a 22-year-old playing a 17-year-old
that
type
makes me
thing.
feel better.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, number 5, Sing Street.
Yeah, I just thought she stood out in that film as like, you do not belong in this timeline. Like, it's
Did you
just-
think that?
Yeah.
She is the ethereal,
Yes.
his girl.
Deliberately
Like,
so.
I get it. Yeah,
Yeah.
totally.
Yeah, it's a great film. I love it a lot. There's a great line in it, or a great moment in it, which I think I sold it to you on
Oh,
watching.
you did. This
And I can't repeat it here because it's the non PG-13 moment, or the moment where.
just do it and spend $1, asshole.
So I can't remember the exact words. Or whatever, but-
Totally. I love this.
Yeah, but effectively, there's two guys looking at
kids, yeah.
the advert for band members wanted, and this guy walks up behind him and
Puts his arm around them both and goes,
goes,
"Faggots." No, I can pay it.
"That's your dollar."
That's
yeah.
all right. That's all right. All right, here we
Which
go.
was of a time, and we know it's not a good word, and we understand that. So please, we hope you all understand that was the
Comedy
joke.
doesn't have to be offensive,
Yes.
everyone. Just
All
let it go.
All right, my number 5 is from one of our favourite filmmakers, in particular mine, but I think you're also right on board, from Edgar Wright. It's 2010 Scott Pilgrim versus the World.
Dude, that was like, I actually shopped that off the list just at the last minute. So absolutely.
We do talk about it, but not that much.
Oh, dude.
Because how long can you talk about Edgar Wright films? With the exception of, as we have well discussed, The World's End. We love all of his films.
Absolutely.
And this is no exception. The story about Scott Pilgrim, this 22-year-old basically loser who develops a crush on Ramona Flowers, this pizza delivery girl, and he has to fight her, is it 5 evil exes?
Yep.
In order to win her over. And
Absolutely.
the process that goes through those evil exes, by the way, include Chris Evans and Brandon Routh.
Yeah, Brendan Routh. He's the vegan guy.
And it's so well filmed. This film is a cult film now.
Absolutely.
Criminally underseen at the time of release. It is
It tanked, didn't it?
one of the greatest. I think if you want to watch a director's style on a film, this might be one of the greatest ever made.
The funny thing is, this is not like any of his other films. So it is his style insofar as he made this movie like this, but I don't think it's like any other film.
Well, I think it's got those fast cuts to edit, or those fast edits with lots of cuts to show something really purposeful.
Oh, perhaps you're right.
It's
It's
got
the
those
styling
moments.
that it's different.
Then on top of that, it's got the comic book stylings, which arguably maybe Robert Rodriguez and Sin City, which
No,
aped.
this is done better. This is done way better.
It's definitely one of the best ever comic book films brought to life.
Easily, because I don't think I've ever seen something so difficult to do. Like, because it's not just a comic brought to life. He's actually emulating the comic itself. Now, we've read this comic, it's shit. It's like it's a simplistically artly.
You should be really happy shit's not on the debate.
Oh, we're done in that case. No, the art's simplistic, and the characters have those big eyes, and the plot, I guess, is interesting because of the 5 X's. But it's definitely culty, quirky thing that like no one would ever notice this comic if you just showed it to them. He's now made it like Michael Cera, and he's putting like neon like sound effects visually represented. Stuff like that is easy to mess up.
and the soundtrack is incredible. Beck wrote most of the soundtrack.
Oh, Beck.
And the songs that their band, that Scott Pilgrim's band plays, and then Brie Larson is kind of his ex in this world as well.
That's right.
She's awesome in this movie, in a little part as well.
Is
And-
she sings?
yeah, she sings.
Yeah,
She
it
sings
is Brie
a
Larson.
wonderful song.
Yeah, you like it.
I
remember that
really
one.
love that song as well.
Whereas this is funny, I adore
Mary Liz
Winstead, who Paul does not. But I thought she was gorgeous in this film as well. But oh my god, this is a great movie. Scott Pilgrim vs. the World. Good call.
Thank you. All right, that's
All
my
right.
5 into your 4.
My number 4 is The Sixth Sense.
I shopped it off.
Yeah,
Because
fair enough.
it was too it's a usual
Completely,
term because it
completely.
was too obvious. But yes,
Well,
totally
I
understand.
think this stayed on my list because I think it's one of the most perfect cinema going experiences of my life. In terms of
Which is big coming from Wayne, who hates horror film.
it is. I didn't know the twist before going in, so that's a very key part of it. I was completely blindsided when it
You
happened.
shouldn't know the twist going in.
No, but everyone did.
No,
Like it was such a celebrated twist
Well,
for.
yeah. So our good friend Christian, who's previously co-hosted the show, he knew.
Yeah, because Dave
And
Letterman spoiled
it
it.
ruined the film for me. Yeah, and by the way, Dave Letterman, not cool, man.
It wasn't. Yeah, it was Nathan Lane. But yeah, long story. But I walked out of the cinema speechless because I was trying to think about why I didn't see it coming. And okay, so it's the M. Night Shyamalan thing where shock ending. At this stage, we didn't know it was going to be a shock ending. Okay, the movie played so perfectly into suckering the audience, and I remember thinking I was just respecting how. Well, it happened. Like when you see Bruce Willis for the first time, he's facing Toni Collette in a room when the kid walks in. And we're not told explicitly. We just think, oh, they were talking.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And then all the way through the film, it's just like that, but now you can pick it up. So that makes it the best.
And yeah, and even Bruce, and we are talking spoilers for a film 20 years old.
Yeah.
Even Bruce Willis didn't know he was dead.
How
Which
good?
is cool.
How good? Because he just opens up on a scene. It's like, yeah, you guys are talking. You know what I mean? Like he didn't have to film the actual conversation, or maybe he did. Who knows? But that's cool. So yeah, Sixth Sense is yeah for me. If you can possibly even see it now without knowing the ending, or even
Not anymore.
Not
Because I just
anymore.
spoiled it.
well,
No,
no, you didn't actually. You didn't.
I did. I just said it.
Oh yeah, you did.
Yeah.
Still watch it. It's
No,
amazing.
if you haven't watched it, I'm sorry. If you haven't watched the film after 20 years, you don't care enough about
Yeah,
the film
fair enough.
to worry about spoilers. My number 4 is equally as iconic a film,
Yeah.
but for different reasons. It's John Hughes' Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
Great call. Great call.
One man's struggle to take it easy.
So cool at the time, man. So cool at the time.
It's like cool at the time. This film is cool now.
You're right. I would skive off for one day to go sing Dankeschön on a float, eat pancreas at some nice ass restaurant.
Be Abe Froman, the
Sausage King of Chicago.
which I think last week we referenced. I couldn't remember the name.
Yeah, steal your dad's Ferrari. All that shit. All right, I would. Yeah, I'm fine. So
How easy it is, Wayne, to adjust your vernacular. You have barely tripped up to
I know. I'm feeling it's a little bit weird. It's a little bit weird. You'd think me. Anyway, go on. So yeah, absolutely, man. This is the balls. It's fine too.
Balls okay.
Balls okay. Yeah.
Look, if no one else had fun with this episode, we have.
Always very important. Did you like Sloane?
Yeah.
I did like Sloane.
Mia Kirshner?
That's her
Kirshner?
name? Yeah, that's sure. I identified more with
Mia
Cameron.
Sarah. Sorry, Mia
Mia
Sarah.
Sarah, yeah.
With Cameron.
Cameron, yeah. When Cameron was in Egypt land, let my Cameron go. I don't know what that scene was about, but I laughed for 3 minutes when I saw that. When I was like, what? Where did the backup singers come from? Fantastic scene. Fantastic.
Charlie Sheen doing a little bit with Jennifer Grey as well.
yeah,
Jeffrey
yeah.
Jones, disgraced now, but back in the day was a pretty
he
good
disgraced?
character. Yeah, there's.
Oh, is there some stuff?
Yeah.
Oh,
We
man.
don't go into that because it's PG-13.
Stopped our sofa. Go on.
Yeah, great film.
Excellent.
And hilariously funny. Obviously, the story about a young man who decides to take a day off school and the shenanigans he has to go through to get past his principal and take his best friend and his girlfriend out on a day that they will never forget.
You know the snoring speaker with the turning body hooked up to the door in the room?
Yep.
I remember looking at it going, my God, he's a genius. At the time, I'm like, that is genius
All
stuff.
I need is a mannequin.
Exactly. And he's just counting on people not fully opening the door. Yeah. That's okay, because he's a legend. Yeah, I'm down.
All right, that's my 4. Your 3.
My number 3 is Life of Pi.
Oh, of course
Of course it is, dude, because I've never seen anything more beautiful still on the screen. And that's saying something.
It
And
is.
It is totally. And it tackles so many weighty themes. Is this gripping? Actually, to me, the movie felt important. Is that a funny thing to say? I felt important that it's difficult to remember that this is a PG-13 or whatever. It's got a few intense action scenes and it's got like a lot of CGI. And to be honest with you, I haven't seen it lately. I don't know how it would hold up. It's
It wasn't that old. It's like, what, 4 years old?
yeah. Is it 4?
I don't know.
Yeah, it's on 4.
It's on your in front of you.
I did not write it down. So, but the fact that because there's a few movies that are like this where it's like what happened at the end was that just in his head, yada yada yada. This thing makes it like I don't care. I care that you showed me that was one that's going on in his head.
This is a little bit left field, but
Yeah.
we're off to see Gemini Man this week, directed by Ang Lee as well.
Yes.
Same director.
What, are you trying to tell me that movie is supposed to be in his head?
No, I'm just saying, like, are you more excited about Gemini Man because it's Ang Lee directed it?
No, because here's the thing. I saw The Hulk. All right? And The Hulk was the biggest misstep I've ever seen, possibly, because the director...
What?
Actually,
No.
no. But
That's the biggest misstep you've ever seen?
in terms of a director who can do this, and then he goes and does The Hulk,
Well, no, he did the Hulk way before he did.
the point
Life
is it's
of
the
Pi.
same guy. Yeah, but like it's...
Maybe he's learned from the Hulk now.
Perhaps you're right. Okay. Is Ang Lee doing Gemini Man? I didn't know that. Okay, no, I am surprised.
Okay,
And I have to. Okay, cool. So Life of Pi. Life of Fly. I don't know why I'm doing that again.
All right, well, your number 3 to mine is equally a film which I own on 4K. It blew me away in the cinemas, but watching it again, like a very rare film has a bigger impact on me the second time around.
No kidding.
And I'm talking about Ryan Coogler's Creed.
I thought you were going to say Black Panther. All right, so... Creed, second time around, still a baller?
Oh, more than baller. Like,
Oh, because of that fight, dude. Well,
the
not that fight.
fight's amazing, but even the way the film ends, the music, the everything, it's so superbly crafted, this movie, to say nothing of the performances by Michael B. Jordan and Sylvester Stallone. Now, we teed off recently about Rambo Last Blood.
Yes.
How terrible
Yes.
the film is and how average Sly is in it. This is what he was trying to emulate.
Did Sly write this one?
Nah.
No.
Ryan Coogler, Aaron Covington, and Claudia Costello. No, sorry, Ryan Coogler and Aaron Covington only wrote this particular film.
Okay, I think we know about Rambo now then.
He did produce it though, Sly,
Yeah.
so which makes perfect sense. However, this film is undeniably magnificent. If you are at all a against the odds person, if you're at all a sports drama person, if you're at all a uplifting finale which just punches you right in the gut, no pun intended, Creed is for you.
In that 4K version, how does that first one-shot fight in the mat look? That must be amazing, right? Because that's the thing that I remember about this movie. I know there's a lot more to it, but that's the holy crap, it just blew me away.
It's amazing.
Wow.
It is incredible. That's why it's my number 3, Creed.
Alrighty. My number 2 is going to be weird, okay?
Oh, we're up
However,
high here.
I have always loved this movie, and I still love it now. It's called Sneakers. Yeah, buddy.
No.
Okay, let me tell you about it, okay? Listen, before you freak out, like a Paul. All right,
Cocaine is a hell of a drug.
this is a 1992 film with, check out this cast, Robert
Good
Redford,
cast.
Sidney Poitier, River Phoenix, Dan Aykroyd, Ben Kingsley, a bunch of other folks, okay? Including Stephen Tobolowsky. It is about a group of security experts who big companies employ to try and infiltrate their security systems. And I mean actual on-premises security, not just hacking. And they do that so they can tell the big company where the holes in their system are. Now, that kind of thing was considered far-fetched back in the day, but nowadays there are real companies that do this. It's called penetration testing. Too easy on a PG film. Okay, too easy. I'm not going to do it. This film is pure likability, everyone. All the main characters are wonderful to watch, and the film was clearly written by someone who knew what they were writing about and cared enough to make it accurate. This is the same guys who wrote War Games, and you can kind of tell. But I
About
still...
10 years between. What year was this?
1992, the year we graduated from high school.
8 years between, okay.
Yeah, I still watch this film now because it's so easy to watch and entertaining and oddly apt given the subject matter. But I'll tell you something about this. River Phoenix, he shot this a year before he died, okay? He does the most with the least. His character should be this like novice sneaker kind of guy. He's an irritating, creepy kind of, but he didn't do that. He imbued the whole thing with genuine like heart and innocence that turns it into something different. It's one of the features of the film, even though he has very few like lines and stuff. So Sneakers, I'm telling you, if you watched it again, you would still like it. Or if you didn't like it the first, check out Sneakers, everyone.
Yeah, I did like it the first time I saw it. I've never returned to it.
It
It does surprise me.
It's an oddly like middle of the range perfect movie for me or something. It's weird. So yeah, there you go, Sneakers.
All right, well, that's a bit of a surprise to my number 2 surprise. It's Free Jack.
The Mick Jagger one.
Mick Jagger, Emilio Estevez.
Nice one.
No, it's not. I thought that would actually get you a goat and make you swear, but it didn't.
But I remember not enjoying that film. So
No, you hated it. You're the one that said to me, "This is a piece of dung." And when I liked it, you were.
Oh, that's right! Because Mick Jagger was in it and he was the bad guy and he's all
Yes.
like, yeah, you're not doing too badly. Shut the fuck up, Mick. Ah, damn it.
I got there. It took a while. I think Way may have played into it. Well done,
There
sir.
you go, there you
Well
go.
done, sir. No, my number 2 was actually Mission Impossible Fallout.
Oh, wow! You know what I took off this list? Mission Impossible Ghost Protocol because I talk about it all the time. But Fallout is a good
Fallout's
call.
new enough that I can still talk about it. Not
Guess
feel
what? I
into
saw
it.
it 3 days ago.
Guess what? I've got it on 4K. I haven't watched it again yet. I saw it twice at the movies, though.
It kills the second time.
It was great the second time. I was never bored for 1 second. Christopher McQuarrie directed and co-written. And co-written, or did he write the whole thing himself?
No idea.
No, he did co-write it with Bruce Geller. And what to my mind, the best Mission Impossible film, the best spy thriller.
So you like this more than one?
Yes, I do actually.
Because it's amazing.
Because it's an action thriller that is never boring, that never lets up. And if you there's a couple of little moments that drag it in just a tiny bit, but it's exhilarating. It's incredible in terms of the pulse pounding kind of
Totally.
nature of this thing. The action set pieces are just spot on.
What is this?
Spot on.
Is this 7 or 6 movies in? I can't remember what it is.
It's
But
number 6, I think. Rogue
6?
Nation is 5.
Yeah,
Ghost
yeah.
Protocol is 4. Yep.
Right. So 6 movies in, you're creating this kind of stuff. You know what's the real trick here? So Tom Cruise goes and does The Mummy, right? And that's one of the rare missteps of his career. And then it's like, oh, he's washed up. But then, comes back with this. And he's got Superman in it. And it's got Wes Bentley in it. And it's got, like, all kinds of cool crap going on. But more importantly, Rebecca Ferguson is back. So I love...
Wayne's favourite. And
I
this is, I
love
think,
her.
of Ving Rhames and Simon Pegg.
Yeah.
The returning character. And even Sean Harris from the last film as the bad guy.
Can you tell you something about this movie? Sean Harris is the same bad guy as in Rogue Nation.
Yep.
I did not recognize him, and I didn't know it was him.
What?
He doesn't look the same at all. He doesn't look even remotely the same.
So when we review this film, like...
Yeah.
14 months
Only
ago,
in the second viewing, I went, "Oh, it's the same guy from the first one." I didn't
I
know.
hope your score went up accordingly.
He could have used a shave, so
I
I knew who he
this
was.
my favourite film of last year.
Really?
For you, it was like number 4, and I was aghast that there were 3
you're
better
right.
films than it. So I hope that helps bump it up a little bit.
Sort of. I mean, I would have been happier if he just showed me that it was the same guy. I know they said
They
they
asked
did.
you to think a little bit, Wayne. I'm sorry.
You can't
taxing
ask
you.
me to think. We've met. What? All right. So yeah, no, absolutely. Look, this is a great pick. This could easily have been on my list. There you are.
Cool.
Fantastic. Okay, are we going to count down now?
Yeah, give us your recap and then your number 1.
Okay.
Best PG-13 film, not normally on the list here.
My odd list continues this way: 10, Clueless; 9, Gremlins; 8, Groundhog Day; 7, Zoolander; 6, Crazy Stupid Love; 5, Sing Street; 4, The Sixth Sense; 3, Life of Pi; 2, Sneakers; and man number 1. I just couldn't not put this on there. It's Casino Royale.
Of course it is.
I know it's an obvious one, but I can't think of a way you would have a better time in a film than if you were watching Casino Royale. If someone said to me, "What movie should I
think
watch?"
several better ways, but this is a PG-13 episode.
When it has to do with a movie, Paul. Okay? Whenever someone says, "What should I watch?" I say Casino Royale. That's it.
Shit, fuck.
That's all right, cunt.
Oh. There's very little beer left.
Oh, this is cool. Everyone, Paul just dropped his beer, and it's all good because I have like matting and stuff here.
I said shit F, and then you said it's all good C. So
That's right. So guess what, everyone?
that's another $1 for me.
Boom.
Yep.
And me. Okay. So
Let's leave that in, shall we? And
oh, yeah, we're trying to leave it in. That's fine. That's fine.
I'll try not to step in this small puddle, very small puddle, because it was the end of my drink.
Okay, now just back to Casino Royale. It was even a new Bond you were getting used to, everyone. It was a new Bond, and it should have been a lot more difficult to please than it was. But they nailed it out of the park so bad that you're immediately ready to believe Daniel Craig is Bond, and you want to believe it. And that means that this was pure craftsmanship. It's like the movie was so good I had no choice but to be swept away with it. And by the way, I don't even know how this got a PG-13 rating. They were smacking him in the nuts with a rope on a
really
wicked
true.
shit. I know, right?
There's torture in this movie.
He's
It's
about
a
to cut the girl's
PG-13.
arm off, and it's all kinds of shit, man. So yeah, but that's again why we make awesome films like this. This is for it to get there, and I don't know who they paid off, but I'm glad they did.
Yeah, okay, it's a good pick. It's a very you pick. I totally understand and get behind it. Again, apologies for dropping a drink on your floor.
Feel free.
My number 10, then recapping: Tremors; 9, Mystery Men; 8, The Monster Squad; 7, Happy Gilmore; 6, Me and Earl and the Dying Girl; 5, Scott Pilgrim vs. the World; 4, Ferris Bueller's Day Off; 3, Creed; 2, Mission Impossible Fallout; and my number 1 is a film I've only spoken about once on the podcast, and I haven't given it enough credence because it is phenomenal.
Really?
I have seen 560 plus films this year.
Freak.
It is my number 1 by a long shot.
Mm-hmm.
It's from last year. It is the best documentary winner from 2018.
Oh, he's gone highbrow with the
It's
doco.
Free Solo.
Oh yeah, what a great show. What a
Directed
great
by
show.
Jimmy Chin and Elizabeth Chai Vasahali. heli, and it follows Alex. I can't remember his name off the top of my head now.
Me neither.
Alex Honnold, who is a free climber. So that means he doesn't attach himself to ropes and whatever else if he's really going for an event. Obviously, he does if he's mapping it out. And he decides he's going to climb the 3,000 foot high El Capitan wall at Yosemite. And he's going to do it for the first person in the world to do it free solo. So no guide ropes attaching him in. If he falls, he will die. And the film is just, apart from being breathtakingly shot, credit to the directors.
Seriously, because they're using drones to capture stuff, and it's
Drones
just amazing.
But also locked off cameramen who are on the wall. They've climbed there themselves, camera people, climb there themselves and set up shop there to get the shots. And then on top of that, it becomes a relationship drama because Alex gets himself in a relationship with a very affecting young woman.
She's quite nice.
And her trying to accommodate or allow for the fact that this person she's fallen in love with is
Basically
could die
almost killing himself
at
and
any
stuff.
point, and the psychology of how he can do what he does. And then on top of that, again, there's another level, which is the director and the crew going, well, if we set up in the wrong spot and we disrupt his concentration, we could be responsible for his death.
More importantly, there's also the issue of kind of the succubus, because like she is, I'm telling you this is in the movie, okay? He fails and fails and fails until he sends her away. And then he succeeds.
No.
What is the movie trying to tell you there, Paulie?
It's not.
They talk about it. They say you can't be in love if you want to be this focused. That's what they say.
Yes, but it's not a succubus.
That, I believe, is the undertone that they have not necessarily going for, but how it worked out. So I'm just saying, it's there. It's there. It's interesting. It's an element of the film. Okay. What? It's fine.
Anyway,
it's fine.
Wayne making things worse than they should be.
It's fine. It's fine.
This film is phenomenal. If you've never seen Free Solo, and a lot of people haven't, so I won't spoil the ending, whether he succeeds or doesn't succeed, or whether he even gets up to try and doesn't.
You know what? This is almost like you just, if you're going to see any documentary this year, this is the one you see. Okay, this is the one. Just go get out and see it.
It's out in America in 4K. I am hanging for the moment.
dude.
It comes. In fact, I don't need to hang around. I'm just going to order it.
You order the crap out of it. I watched it on. Did you say cuss?
No, you did though.
I said cuss. I said, did you say cuss?
I thought you said.
I just want to say one thing.
That was my intention to come in this episode. I was going to be like, I'm going to do a fantastic Mr. Fox and just go cuss every time I want to swear.
Yeah, cuss would be good. That's really good. Or smeg. I watched this movie on a 32-inch man cave monitor, and I got vertigo. So good luck. If you see this, go see it in the biggest thing you can see.
I'd love
biggest
to.
screen.
That moment we've reviewed coming out this weekend. We're reviewing Ad Astra. We talk about a shot where it tilts over the top of this big drop.
Yep.
And I think this film would absolutely provoke illicit
more because you know that this is real. So yeah. Free Solo, good call, nice work.
Thank you. That's our list then.
That is it.
And relatively little arguing. I'm genuinely
This
shocked.
movie trying not to cuss, that's why.
I know, but I'm genuinely shocked at how little money we've put in here.
I know.
We're going to have to hold it over to the
G-rated.
we'll
hold it over. Yeah, we'll top it up.
We'll top it up for we'll do a G-rated film for the end of the year.
I'm not giving anyone $4. What's this for?
Well, I've got 3 in mind. We're not over yet.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, $7.
Not surprisingly, Wayne is 2 1/3 times worse than me.
But you thought it was going to be worse.
I did. I can't believe only $10 between the two of us. All right. Well, we're not over the episode yet because we do rack up every episode. We won't do honorable mentions because I think we spoke about
There's just
them before.
billions and billions of them.
We wrap up every episode with your feedback on the topic at hand in a segment that we call the Pop 10.
Talk about.
Pop 10. Talk about. Pop 10. Kicking off this week's Pop 10 with Joey DiCarlo from the So Wizard podcast. His top 3 PG-13 films. Number 3, Independence Day.
Yeah, sure.
Number 2, Captain America Winter Soldier.
Of course.
And number 1, Red Dawn, 1984, the very first, you said.
Yeah, I remember that.
PG-13 film.
Yeah.
Dan Brennan from Netflix and Swill podcast. Number 3, The Dark Knight, which
Of
we
course,
obviously
of
put
course.
off our list. Number 2, Spider-Man 2. And number 1 again, Independence Day.
Spider-Man 2, Doc Ock. Yeah, good call.
Daniel Henderson from the IMDb Journey podcast and Blake Jarvis, good friend and patron to the show, had, believe it or not, exactly the same 3 films in exactly the same order.
Whoa, spooks.
That is phenomenal given there are, according to IMDb.com, there are 75,000 films rated PG-13.
Yeah, but, everyone knows the
Number 3, for both of them, Casino Royale.
Of course.
Number 2, Inception. And number 1, The Dark Knight.
Yep. Excellent.
Oh,
In fact,
great.
that's those 3, totally.
Yeah, look, you had Casino Royale. I may not have on my list, but had we included everything, definitely the other two would have been
course.
there. Chris Sutherland had Lord of the Rings, all and any, but if I had to choose, Fellowship of the Ring, Jurassic Park, and Spider-Man Homecoming.
Fellowship was definitely the best.
Mark Harris had number 3, Avengers Endgame, number 2, Avengers Infinity War, number 1, Back to the Future. Chris Uni had another good friend, patron of the show, had Lord of the Rings, just generally, Dark Knight 2, and Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade.
Can I ask you something? Because any Marvel film could be on here almost, right? If you had to pick one just Marvel film, best PG-13, which is it? All the best Marvel films, just off the top of your head kind of thing. Because it's a real tough one.
Probably Infinity War.
Yeah, man. Infinity War, Pips, Avengers, just a bit.
Yeah, those are the two for me.
Totally.
And Endgame was great, but I don't rate it as much as Infinity
No, it just
War.
can't be there because with the first one, so you can't pick it on its own almost. I don't know.
And
I don't know, man. It's a tough one.
it is tough. Obviously, Endgame, the most successful film in the world, in terms of, well, it's the biggest grossing film in the world. Yeah, but I thought Infinity War was a better film overall.
No, it was definitely more fun.
Gerald Morris from Two Peas on a podcast. Holy broad topic G's. In an effort to remain sane, just going to list 3 that I love that came to mind right away, which are all game changers in my opinion.
Okay.
3, The Sixth Sense. There
Sure.
you are. 2, Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
Boom.
Number 1, The Dark Knight.
Yeah.
Ashley Gorski, who is, of course, our good friend, and
Ashley?
the hopefully returning soon Rabbit Ears TV podcast.
Yeah.
Number 3, Troll Hunter. That's a great film. Well done, Ashley.
Really? Okay.
Number 2, Warrior. Could easily be on this. I left it off because I
Really?
talk about it too often.
Is that the Joel Edgerton and Tom
And
Hardy
Tom
one?
Hardy
Yeah,
one.
that's a great film.
And number 1, which I recently showed to my fiance, and she loved the shit out of it too.
What? Warrior. Yeah,
Yep.
cool.
And number 1, Scott Pilgrim versus the World.
Yep,
Killing
killing it.
Ashley.
Killing
very,
it.
Very nice. Dave from Super Movie Bros, recent guest co-host of the show. This is hard. You insane bastards. Can I say bastards? I hope so.
Yeah, you're fine.
Okay, let me give this a go. Obviously, Jurassic Park. Can't forget The Dark Knight. And let's wrap it up with Captain America, the Winter Soldier, because it happens to be on TV right now. Cheers, you crazy sons of bitches.
Nice.
Brentley Oliver, good friend of the show, had The Mummy from 1999, of course.
Of course.
Star Trek from 2009, and Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 1.
I don't know if I've seen that one. I can't remember which one I'm up to. Keep going.
Okay. Gidget Von LaRue from the Retro Cinema podcast. Taken, which did shock me that was PG-13.
Yeah, and it's awesome too.
Yeah, it's good. It's a good pick. Sixth Sense and Jurassic Park. Can't fault that. Mackenzie Lambert, old school listener, good friend of the show. The Avengers, Indiana Jones, Last Crusade, and Jurassic Park.
Nice.
Gareth's random ramblings. Gareth from that show had really not swearing. Shivers. I would freaking suck at that. Yeah, well,
We do too.
Better than we thought, to be honest.
Yeah.
TJ Reviews had, what the heck, guys? This is crazy. Here goes nothing. 3, Skyfall.
Oh, yeah.
2, Inception. Number 1, Return of the King.
Ooh. Return of the King.
Yeah, very, very nice.
All right.
Sam from the Movie Reviews and 20 Qs podcast, our good friend. You have my sympathy, Wayne. He led off his tweet with. Number 3, Lord of the Rings, Fellowship of the Ring. 2, Inception. Number 1, Thor, Ragnarok. Effort. Something different. And with that goes my one use of the word for.
Yeah. Nice one.
Very nice. We're still within the realms of PG-13 there. Stephen from the Super Retro Throwback podcast had, Jesus wept, that was a tough one. Here's ours. It doesn't have no numbers here. Batman, 1989. Sherlock Holmes, 2009. Skyfall, 2012.
Yeah, cool. Nice work.
Then we had Alita Echo Actual, which led off a large number of responses along these lines.
What is that?
The response from them was Alita Battle Angel,
Yeah.
of which we had about 7 or 8 more people write in Alita Battle Angel as well,
Yeah.
which has the one F in that word in that film comes when she destroys a bad
Okay. I can
And
barely
says-
remember it.
F Your Mercy,
Okay.
which is apparently there's a big following of this particular
I didn't know that.
film.
All right.
Neither did I.
There you are.
And that is it for this week's show in terms of the Pop 10. Shocked that Alita Battle Angel got more mentions than any and all other films.
No, so am I. I didn't. Maybe I should go back and look at that. It was good. I remember it being good.
Well, it's all right.
It's all right. Yeah, it was all right.
It's all right. All right, Wayne, how do people that get in touch with us let us know their choices or indeed give us feedback on the show?
Google The Countdown Podcast or Movie and TV Reviews Podcast, or send us an email at thecountdownpodcast@gmail.com.
We're on Twitter at The Countdown PC. You can follow us on Podbean where we host our show and comment and like and all the rest of that stuff there. And indeed via ccradio.com.au, which is the website we share with a whole bunch of great Australian podcasts for CC Radio, including the new shows Fightcast Australia and Fangirling. We also have a Patreon, which you can join. Link is in the show notes to get a whole bunch of extra content. And we're at the stage where we need more reviews.
Yeah.
Hit us up on your choice, platform of choice. Leave us reviews, hopefully positive, hopefully 5 stars, that we've entertained you. And if nothing's entertained you more than the fact that we only swear 10 times, or plus 2, in this entire podcast, that is amazing.
That is amazing.
By our very, very low standards.
Low.
All right, Wayne, what are we doing next week for episode 236 of The Countdown?
I wonder if you folks will enjoy this one. We are doing the top 10 films that taught us about dating. Because sometimes you do that. You go to the movies for answers. That's what I do. Okay?
Or you get answers without knowing you were intending
Yeah,
to
exactly.
look for
I actually go looking for them, but yeah, absolutely. I'm like, yeah, I should do that. And then it never works out.
Yeah. So we'll be reporting what those lessons were to you and what film gave us those lessons. And it's an experimental episode, much like today was.
Sure.
And know this, going forward, before the end of the year, we'll have the top 10 G-rated films in which there'll be no swearing whatsoever.
Yeah, that's
to add to this paltry $10 we're going to nominate. What's the word? Dedicate to charity. So we'll put that aside, the $10 aside, and we will come
Keep a
back
tally.
with more next time. All right, that is it for today's episode 235 of the Countdown Movie and TV Reviews podcast. My name is Paul.
My name is Wayne.
And this has been the Soundboard. Because we haven't heard it for a few weeks.
Yeah, I don't know why you keep bringing this piece of shit back.
I was thought just for a second.
Fuck it. I will.
$11.
There you go.
We will see you next week.
See ya. Fuck you, Paul, you fuck cunt, bitch.